Welcome back to Mindful Stoicism, where we explore timeless wisdom to navigate life's most challenging situations with grace and strength. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt invisible to someone you care about deeply? Maybe it's a partner, a close friend, or even a family member. Despite your best efforts, showing kindness, offering support, or going out of your way to be there for them, it feels like your value in their eyes has slowly faded. You start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? Why don't they see my worth anymore? It's frustrating, isn't it? Even painful. That sinking feeling of being overlooked, underappreciated, or even taken for granted can leave you doubting yourself. And when emotions run high, our instincts push us to do more, to try harder, give more, and bend further, hoping that somehow they'll notice us again. But here's the truth. That approach almost never works. In fact, it often backfires. What if I told you that the solution isn't about trying harder or doing more? Instead, there's a simple yet counterintuitive trigger shift in your mindset and actions that can completely flip the script. And no, this isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about reclaiming your power, resetting the dynamic, and teaching them to truly see and appreciate your worth. This technique is deeply rooted in timeless Stoic philosophy, offering a perspective that empowers you to rise above the chaos and take control of the situation without compromising your values. So stay with me until the end, because what you'll learn today isn't just about how they'll see you differently, it's about how you'll start seeing yourself in a whole new light. Let's dive in. 1. The problem. Let's start with the core issue, the painful realization that someone you care about no longer values you the way they once did. Maybe it's a partner who has stopped prioritizing you, a friend who always seems too busy, or a family member who takes your kindness for granted. Whatever the relationship, the signs are unmistakable. They no longer listen to you with the same attentiveness. Your presence, once cherished, now feels like an afterthought. Their behavior leaves you questioning your worth. In moments like these, it's natural to feel a mix of emotions: confusion, frustration, sadness, even anger. You might replay conversations in your mind, trying to pinpoint where things went wrong. Worse, you might start blaming yourself, thinking you're not good enough or that you need to work harder to win their attention back. When this happens, most of us fall into a common trap. We overcompensate. We give more of our time, energy, and emotional investment in the hopes of reigniting the connection. Maybe you text them more often, offer extra support, or go out of your way to make them happy. On the surface, it seems like the right thing to do after all. Doesn't effort show you care? But here's the harsh reality. The harder you try, the more they pull away. Why? Because excessive effort can come across as desperation, and desperation erodes respect. Without respect, no relationship can thrive. This is where things spiral. The more you give without reciprocation, the more drained and undervalued you feel. You're left emotionally exhausted, yet no closer to being appreciated. The problem isn't you, it's the dynamic. And to fix it, you need to stop chasing their validation and approach the situation in a completely different way. Let me explain how. The Stoic solution. When someone doesn't value you anymore, the pain can feel overwhelming. Our natural reaction is to try harder, giving more of ourselves in the hope that they'll notice and finally appreciate our efforts. But here's the harsh truth. The more you chase after their approval, the more you lower your perceived value in their eyes. Why? Because constantly seeking validation sends a silent message. I don't value myself enough unless you do. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism offers a powerful, life-changing solution. Instead of chasing, pleading, or bending over backward, Stoics teach us to turn inward and focus on what we can control: our actions, our emotions, and most importantly, our self-worth. The essence of the Stoic solution lies in one critical shift. Detachment is your power. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about the person or the relationship. It means you stop letting their actions or lack of appreciation define your self-worth. When you detach, you reclaim control over your emotions and stop placing your happiness in the hands of someone else. Here's the key. Stop trying to prove your worth to them. Instead, focus on proving your worth to yourself. Detachment allows you to create emotional space, giving the other person the opportunity to reflect on your absence. It's in that space of absence that your value is most often rediscovered. By stepping back and detaching, you shift the balance of power. You're no longer reacting to their behavior. You're dictating your own terms. This shift in perspective not only restores your confidence, but also repositions you as someone worthy of respect and appreciation. Remember, the Stoic path isn't about controlling others, it's about mastering yourself. And in mastering yourself, you show them your true value without ever having to say a word. 3. The psychology behind it. Let's talk about the psychology behind why this simple trick works so effectively. At the core of human behavior lies a fascinating truth. We often don't value what is always available to us. Think about it. When something is abundant and easily accessible, it becomes ordinary, almost invisible. But when it's rare, difficult to attain, or suddenly absent, its value skyrockets. This principle applies not only to material things, but also to relationships. When you're always there for someone, constantly calling, texting, or making sacrifices, they may unintentionally start taking you for granted. It's not that they don't care about you, but human nature has a way of becoming complacent with consistency. Your availability becomes predictable, and as a result, they stop actively valuing your presence. However, when you step back, when you create distance and detach emotionally, you introduce a powerful concept into the dynamic: scarcity. Suddenly, your absence disrupts their routine. They notice the silence where your voice used to be. They feel the space you once occupied. And in that silence, they're forced to confront an uncomfortable question. What if I lose this person entirely? This psychological shift triggers a sense of urgency. People tend to value what they fear losing, and when they sense your emotional detachment, it creates an opportunity for them to reevaluate your importance in their lives. The key is that your withdrawal isn't out of anger or spite. It's rooted in self-respect and an understanding of your worth. By detaching, you create a dynamic where your presence is no longer taken for granted. Instead, it becomes something they have to earn, appreciate, and cherish. This is how you shift the power back to yourself and teach others to value you in a way they never did before. How to execute this trick. Now that you understand the power of detachment, let's break down exactly how to execute this trick effectively. This isn't just about pulling back randomly, it's about creating a deliberate, respectful space that allows others to see your worth while prioritizing your own well-being. Here are 5 practical steps to help you do it right. Set clear boundaries. The first step is knowing what you will and will not tolerate. Politely but firmly communicate your limits. For example, if someone consistently ignores your feelings or disrespects your time, let them know it's unacceptable. Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates that allow respect in and keep toxicity out. When you enforce them, you demonstrate self-respect, which is the foundation of being valued by others. Redirect your focus to self-improvement. Stop pouring all your energy into them and start investing it in yourself. Pick up that hobby you've been neglecting, work on your fitness, or learn a new skill. When you thrive independently, it sends a powerful message that you don't rely on anyone else for your sense of worth. People are naturally drawn to those who are growing and evolving. Limit communication. Resist the urge to constantly initiate contact. Instead, give them the opportunity to notice your absence. Silence can be louder than words, and when you stop chasing, they start wondering. Maintain emotional control. If they do reach out, don't jump back in with the same intensity. Stay calm, composed, and confident. Let them see that you're no longer seeking their validation. It's incredibly attractive. Let them feel the loss. Finally, step back and allow them to experience what life is like without your presence. Scarcity creates value, and in that space, they'll begin to reflect on what they're missing. Execute these steps with intention and watch how the dynamic transforms. 5. What happens next? So, you've implemented the steps, pulled back, set clear boundaries, and invested your energy in yourself. What happens next? The answer might surprise you, because the outcomes often go beyond what you initially expect. When you take this bold step of detachment, you trigger a psychological shift in the dynamic between you and the other person. Let's break it down. First, they will begin to notice your absence. Whether they admit it or not, people are wired to appreciate things they can no longer take for granted. When you're no longer readily available or bending over backward to meet their needs, they're forced to confront the space you've left behind. That silence? It's loud, and it can be uncomfortable for them. They may begin to reflect on their behavior, realizing the value you brought into their life. Second, they may attempt to reconnect. Perhaps it starts with a message or a subtle attempt to regain your attention. Don't be surprised if they start asking questions or making an effort to engage with you again. But here's the key. When they do, you'll be in control. You'll no longer be the one seeking validation. Instead, they'll be seeking yours. However, there's another possibility. If they don't reach out, it reveals something crucial. They were never truly invested in valuing you in the first place. And while that realization might sting, it's a gift in disguise. It frees you to move forward and invest your energy in people who genuinely appreciate you. Most importantly, this process transforms you. You'll feel a sense of liberation and inner peace as you learn to prioritize your own worth. The beauty of detachment is this: whether they come back or not, you win. You reclaim your power, your self-respect, and your emotional freedom. So, the next time someone doesn't value you, take a step back and resist the urge to chase after them. Instead of pouring more energy into someone who doesn't appreciate it, try this powerful Stoic trick and watch the transformation unfold. When you shift your focus inward and detach emotionally, you not only reclaim your power, but also send a clear message. You know your worth, and you won't settle for less. Let them sit with the void your absence creates. Let them feel the weight of losing someone who added real value to their life. This isn't about revenge or proving a point. It's about prioritizing yourself and allowing them to recognize what they've taken for granted. In the process, you'll find yourself stepping into your power and building unshakable confidence. Remember, you teach others how to treat you by the standards you set for yourself. When you respect your own boundaries, others will have no choice but to do the same, or they'll fall away, making room for the right people who truly value you. Either way, you win. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to hit that like button. It lets us know we're making a difference. Subscribe to Mindful Stoicism for more timeless wisdom that empowers you to live with strength and purpose. And don't keep this insight to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Finally, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share a time when you reclaimed your power and refused to settle for less. Your story could inspire someone else to do the same. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay mindful, stay strong, and keep thriving.